Hi guys, Kim Jong Lee here, back with another online commentary battle. This time it's another battle sent in by Esrax, playing here as the Scipii Romans. His ally is King Markus, and their opponents are Mohamed and Steve Longshanks. So the flags are going to be very hard to differentiate this game. I'm going to mix up the names a lot because, frankly, when you do this to me, I can't tell the difference between the players. So, Esrax is here playing against Mohamed. Markus and Esrax swapped positions at the start for some reason. Maybe they just had preference of opponents, but yeah, that was a bit weird. But anyway, Steve Longshanks seems to be paired up against Markus, while Esrax is paired up against Mohamed. And Markus here with the good old cavalry general, which has not been too useful so far. It's killed some people in these loose formation units here, but that's about it. Otherwise, it's just running around being annoying and a big waste of money. Mohamed pushing around the flank here for Esrax. I think Esrax could consider trying to fall back and get out of this encirclement, but Mohamed's going to try to just keep pushing forward. And if Esrax tries to pull back, he'll have to lose a few of his urban cohorts here. So I think Mohamed's playing quite well so far. Mohamed also, I think, targeting down some of Esrax's cav here with these aggressive moves, really pushing simultaneously with the infantry. Esrax has actually identified this and he's moved up to this point, but his cav are too close right now. They're going to get peeled, and also it opens this up for Mohamed to try and catch his cav. So bit dangerous there from Esrax. Esrax does have to stop this blob of units here. He should move a couple of units out here to try and stop this, because things are not looking too good for him at the moment, positionally. I think Markus should maybe be a bit aggressive on this side, because Mohamed is very, very extended on the opposite side. So if Esrax can somehow just block over here, move all his cav over here and help out Markus and try to rout Steve Longshanks, Mohamed might actually take too long to respond. And if you can get a favorable mass rout, like favorable exchange of armies, that could be quite good. Esrax gonna sort of do that. He's going to charge into this center part because he sees Mohamed's cav is just so far away. He knows he can't reinforce here in time. And he's also going to get one cav unit through this gap, but I'm not sure if that's going to do him any good. The problem with this is that his infantry wasn't really engaged, so he needs to really get some of the infantry pressure going. Meanwhile, Mohamed has done the same. He's seen Esrax go for this, so he thinks he has to make up for it by charging in here. Hasn't really done too much damage. He's done some damage, but again, the infantry not quite engaged on Esrax's, so no really substantial routes going in there, but a lot of kills. I guess that does matter. And Esrax meanwhile has formed up in time to try and countercharge maybe. But Mohamed can actually try and just go through this center part and try to attack units in here with his cav, because this urban cohort could actually swing into the inside. So that is something that Esrax should look out for. It looks like King Markus is going to start moving his guys around. He's getting charged quite a bit over here on this side, but he seems to be managing, so he's going to charge, swing around. He sees this engaged blob of infantry, and that's a nice pickup here if he manages to get some sort of route going. Doesn't look like he is able to, but it does entice Mohamed to try and countercharge here, and this is a pretty nice looking angle for Mohamed. Esrax going to countercharge Mohamed, and it looks like actually that after a couple of charges, Mohamed's general actually dies, so that actually swings this whole battle in favor of Esrax and King Markus, so very fortunate there. And yeah, Mohamed's general was quite exposed, and he got charged through the back by Markus, so really nice recognition by Markus there that there was big potential here with all this engaged infantry, and he had a really good angle on it as well, so good recognition there from him. He should try and really salvage as many of his guys as he can now and reform up here with Esrax, and maybe even try and take out some of Mohamed's remaining infantry here, because if they regroup with Steve Longshanks, they can still do some work. But meanwhile, Esrax should try and combine with King Markus and try and rout one of these two armies. So there's one here and there's one over here. It looks like Steve Longshanks is a bit closer. So if I were them, I'd probably try and just throw everything at Steve at this point. You have the cav advantage, you have the infantry masses on your side. Mohamed is doing the right thing. He's trying to regroup with Steve. He's gone the long way around because he doesn't want to get blocked off by Esrax while he does that. This urban horde here glitching out, which is quite unfortunate for him. And Esrax, I think, just preventing him from taking the short way back. But that could be pretty big. Mohamed really needs to meet up with Steve if he wants to have a chance at stopping these masses of infantry just plowing into him. Praetorian Cav floating around here for the Esrax and Markus team, and yeah, they're going to push aggressively against Steve. Looks like Esrax has chucked out a few infantry units here to try and distract Mohamed. If Mohamed focuses on these guys, he can't help Steve Longshanks. So it might actually do Esrax quite well to throw them out here, testudo them, and just try and make things annoying for Mohamed as he tries to support Steve. Steve is running away. He should have done this a bit earlier. I'd say he should have tried to run towards Mohamed instead of just sitting there, and they would have met up faster. But because they haven't met up now, Esrax can just sack units and continue pushing against Steve. And it looks like Steve and Mohamed don't have any cav left, so this could end very quickly for them because they don't have any counter charges, they don't have any mobility, they don't really have anything that can support. They've got this one Praetorian cav unit left, but 6 guys, nowhere near enough. That being said, Mohamed has gotten past some of Esrax's guys, but it looks like the morale of these guys is not too good at the moment. This one's going to rout with 42 guys still in the unit, and the cav charges keep coming in, and yeah, the cav just really making the difference here because they're able to get into the right spots at the right time and generate a lot of morale damage and a lot of physical damage as well when they charge into the backs of things. Also, running past some of Esrax's guys means that Esrax's guys can in turn return to the main fight and surround Mohamed's guys. So I think unfortunate then that Mohamed could not meet up with Steve. They would have been able to defend a bit better there, but I think due to the lack of cav, it was going to be pretty difficult anyway. Really just the cav is going to win it for Esrax and Markus at this point. This general unit killing some stragglers, I suppose. This general unit is actually good in this situation now because he can very quickly get some back charges in on some of these guys. So is actually useful at this point, but only because the enemy infantry is so depleted now and the morale is very horrible already. But yeah, very clean win for Markus and Esrax. I think it all came down to the fact that Markus saw this line. A very nice line through this center part here where Esrax was engaged. Mohamed his focus was all the way over here, and then Steve's focus was also all the way over here. So Steve and Mohamed were overextended, and Esrax and Markus just realized, we have the better kind of coordination. We have the more easily able to they're more easily able to support the center area, so they just capitalized on that, the fact that they could get 12 cav into the one of these center area spots, and Mohamed and Steve were not able to do that because they were so far away from each other. Mohamed tried to countercharge here, which was quite clever, but I mean Esrax had all his cav just waiting there, so he got crushed there anyway. And yeah, nice teamwork there from Esrax and Markus. Yeah, so that really just shows you some of the dangers of overextending a bit. If one of your teammates overextends, usually I'd recommend not overextending yourself. So Steve Longshanks pushed around this flank and Mohamed pushed around this flank. Sometimes if it goes really well, you can meet up in the middle actually with your cav behind all the enemies, and you can do some awesome stuff. But if you're really far away from each other, then you're really just by yourself, and that means if you're the two guys in the center, you can support very easily. You can just capitalize on big blobs of infantry in the middle, like Markus did there. So very well played to both players. Very nice game actually. So I'll see you guys another time.